There are 7 major ways you can maximize in your life right now so that you can make 2023 the best year of your life. So much conflicting evidence in the health and fitness industry, so cutting through all the junk and clickbait there is, here are the things you need to know. If you don't know who I am, my name is Andy Ridzik. I'm a master's student of physiology, which is basically human biology for those that don't like big words. First time university. Throw that all aside. Most importantly, I was just like you. I was overweight, depressed, had no confidence, no action or control over my life. I spent countless hours trying over and over again to get out of this everlasting rut. And now I'm going to share with you what worked for me in 2022 so that you can have the best year of your life in 2023. I promise if you follow these 7 rules, you will have the best year of your life. Stay tuned for the entire video because I guarantee the last few are not what you're expecting. Number 1, exercise. And I know you're thinking,
oh my God, Andy, wow, I would have never thought of that. How innovative of you.
But it's true. And sometimes the bread and butter, obvious answers are the correct ones. And let's be honest, there hasn't ever been a time in your life after completing a great workout that you've ever said to yourself, I really wish I hadn't done that, right? We all know after these great workouts, we're proud of ourselves. We want to keep doing it more often, right? So what I think it is for a lot of people, including myself, is not that the working out part itself is difficult, but the thinking about the working out is, right? It's the anticipation that something difficult is about to happen and that I'd rather stay in bed under the covers than do that thing. So if this is you like it was for me, what helped me was finding reasons that are better to exercise than they are to not. So for example, if you start going to the gym regularly and you start to make some new friends, you have a good friend group in the gym, you're gonna wanna do that more and see these people more and have a good time more than it is to stay in bed and miss out on these moments and opportunities. Likewise, if you're someone that loves watching the sunrise in the morning and you feel energized and ready to take on the day, do something like running or walking or even like an at-home workout during the time that the sun is rising, right? Because it's gonna give you a reason to get up and exercise and move as opposed to just staying in bed. If you're a 22-year-old kid like me and you happen to develop a little gym crush or a person of significant interest, then hey, that's fantastic motivation to get going. Disclaimer, please be respectful of all people in the gym. It is a very inclusive place. Please don't make anybody feel uncomfortable in there. Be respectful at all times. The point is, if you have better reasons to go and exercise than to not exercise, you're gonna do it more often than not. And there's literally no downside to being strong and having a body you're proud to live in. But I can think of 1,000 downsides to being weak and hating the body you live in. Go be strong and go and tackle your goals, because from one previously overweight person to another, anyone can get abs, anyone can have the body of their dreams, anyone can accomplish any of your goals that you put your mind to. It's just about putting in the work for consistency for an amount of time, and I promise you'll get there. I do believe in you. And there's so many other tricks and hacks that'll help you figure out what's the best way to go about working out and whatnot, and I'll get into that in another video. But for now, let's just focus on the basics. This is a great time to mention that I do not have an upload schedule yet, so click the bell button, turn on the notifications, subscribe, all that stuff so you don't miss out on any other videos. Number 2, cut out the junk. Another meat and potatoes type of answer, pun intended, but again, it's so true. We are what we eat, literally. Like, as a biologist, everything we are makes up our being, ourselves, our chemistry, right? And we are fueled by the things that we put into our body. So we all know that we should eat right. But what does that even mean anymore? And I'm here to tell you that there's only 2 ways to really think about this. Number 1, what should I be eating? And number 2, how much of it should I be eating? And that's really it. The entire health and fitness community is always contradicting each other now. Paleo this, carnivore that, intermittent fasting, keto, OMAD, high protein, low protein. Who even knows what's going on anymore? And I don't blame you for not knowing what to do. So all that aside, here's my Angie's logical statement of the day. Eating foods that come from nature are better than eating foods that don't. And I don't think there's anyone on planet Earth, PhD or otherwise, that can legitimately argue with that statement. And what does this mean? It means that the more you choose foods that come from nature versus foods that don't, the better it is for you. The better you'll feel, the better you'll look. right? So the more you choose foods from nature, foods like fruits, vegetables, meat, eggs, poultry, whatever, over things like donuts, pasta, cookies, and all the other junk, the better you'll feel. So if you're stuck thinking about if something is likely good or bad for you, ask yourself, what is this made of, right? If it has more than one ingredient, it didn't come from nature. So think about it. A bell pepper's ingredients are a bell pepper, right? A chicken breast ingredients are a chicken breast. A tomato is made out of a tomato, right? These are single ingredient foods, things that come from nature. Things like donuts, pasta, what are they made of? Probably a lot of things you can't even pronounce, right? A lot of ingredients you don't even know how to say. So a good rule of thumb is, if you can't pronounce something, or if it takes you longer than 5 seconds to read all the ingredients, it's probably not the best thing for you. So step 1 of eating healthy, the what should I be eating, is already completed. Step number 2, how much of it should I be eating? And everything at a base level of understanding, meaning the majority of what you should be focusing on, is calories in versus calories out, right? So the calories out portion is how much you expend moving around in a given day. You're working out, your activity, your breathing, sleeping, anything you do burns calories. And these things are all dependent on your activity level, your age, your gender, your weight, your height, a bunch of other things that you kind of can't control. Some of them you can. But let's focus on the things we definitely can control, and that's the calories in portion, right? So calories in is essentially anything that you put into your body that you can consume, food or drinks, right? Everything that you put into your body has calories except for water. Meaning, if we can control the amount of calories that come into our bodies, the food and the drinks that we put into our bodies, we can control whether we lose or gain weight. So there's a bunch of
Calculators and intense maths that go into this big equation and macros and percentages and yada yada.
We'll go over that in a separate video. But here's my basic rule of thumb that will work great for anyone. If you try eating a certain amount of all the good nutritious foods that were in step 1 that we just talked about, and you do that for a week or 2, possibly even a month, and you start to notice that you feel and look better, keep doing what you're doing. Don't fix what is not broken. If you don't feel or look better, try eating a little bit less. So whether that's choosing leaner cuts of meat, smaller portions, taking out a meal sometime in the day. If you're not a big breakfast person, you don't have to force in a meal at breakfast just because you want to, just for the sake of doing it. The point is, eat a little bit less than you are currently, and I promise you'll get there. And that's it. That's all you need to know about eating right at the basic level of understanding that will get you results quick. Number 3, sleep. Highly underrated topic for being healthy. We hear everyone say it, but it's one of those things that everybody just pushes to the side and we don't stay diligent with. Sleep is so important and it's different for everyone. For me personally, I feel my best at 7.5 hours of sleep. I can go a little bit less, a little bit more by half an hour, doesn't really matter. But around 7.5 hours of sleep, I feel my best. A lot less than 7 hours, I feel groggy and tired. Even a lot greater than 8 hours, I feel pretty groggy and tired. Some people like The Rock only need 5 hours of sleep. We have others like Matthew McConaughey who need 9.5 hours of sleep a night to function great. And if Matthew McConaughey can still be Matthew McConaughey while getting 9.5 hours of sleep a night, I'm pretty sure that takes away the myth that you only need 5 hours of sleep so you can rise and grind and tackle the day at 4 a.m. So the point is, do what's best for you and stick to it. Set up a sleep schedule that you can follow every single day for a long period of time. Find what's best for you and stick to it. Set up a sleep schedule that is best for you so that you can accomplish your goals the next day. An example of this is if I need to work at 9 a.m., that's when I start work, and I know I should probably go work out before 9 a.m., before work, because after work I'm tired and I don't have energy, and the wife and the kids and the whole busyness of life gets in the way. That means you probably need to wake up around 6 so you can get a pretty good workout in before you go to work. And if you're someone that needs 8 hours of sleep, and you need to wake up at 6, that means you need to go to bed by 10 p.m. And let's be honest, you're not missing out on much after 10 p.m. that you can't get done at 9 p.m. Pretty much everything can get done before 9 p.m. Anything else after 10 p.m. is just scrolling through TikTok and Instagram and watching TV. Mindless activities. So just get to bed. If you're someone that works a night shift, consider getting blackout shades. It's been proven that cooler, darker rooms improve the quality of your sleep. If you're someone like me that has trouble falling asleep some nights, I do take a sleep supplement. It is melatonin, a magnesium, calcium, and zinc supplement, and an L-theanine supplement. The L-theanine acts as a muscle relaxant. The calcium, magnesium, zinc is for DNA repair and recovery. And the melatonin is for neurological signaling to the brain that it's time to fall asleep. And I'll link below one good sleep supplement that I found that includes all of the ingredients that I just listed. I know a lot of people get a Whoop or an Apple Watch or any of these other sleep trackers. Personally, I haven't, but if this is something that you know will work for you, if you're hyper competitive and you want to beat your sleep score or recovery score from the night before, definitely invest in yourself. I highly recommend if that works for you. Number 4, limit social media and go outside. And this is a big one, especially for my generation that is locked in on their phones 24/7. And at the beginning of 2022, I hopped off Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, and any other socials just to see if I would feel better. And lo and behold, I did. Like a lot better. And the common argument people have against this is,
so what if I miss out on important events or milestones, or I get FOMO and I lose all my friends?
trust me, you won't miss out on anything. Like at all. Zero. People still have your number. People still have a way to get a hold of you, right? If there's news worth sharing, they're gonna text you, right? People still text. Everybody's still on their phones. Like, you'll find out eventually. You'll find out pretty quickly, as a matter of fact. And to be honest, if you lose certain friends just because you hopped off social media, even though they still have your number, were they really friends to begin with? Think about it. What you will miss out on, though, is the constant comparison of the hyper elite and, quite frankly, fake posts that leave you feeling bad about yourself and your situation. And I'd 100% rather ditch that and a few fake friends than to keep the fake friends and feel shitty about myself 24/7. So if you're scared to do this, maybe keep one social media around. I did keep my Instagram around just for some exposure to the outside world. I think it could still be a benefit if you use that as a tool as opposed to something that you get distracted with. But you don't need 17 different apps showing you inflated egos and Photoshop pics 24/7. Number 5, spiritual health. This is something that I've really come to develop over the past year. It's something that has led me through the tougher times of my life and has given me a reason to keep pushing through with these tasks. It's also given me a very clear direction of what I need to be doing. And we as humans need that clear direction or else we get quite lost and are filled with anxiety. For me, it's an understanding of something that I can lean on when I have no reason to keep pushing forward, right? So if you're someone that lays in bed every night and looks at the ceiling and is saying, why am I here? Why am I doing any of this? Why me? I think that having a strong spiritual connection to a higher power greater than yourself will alleviate any of these questions, right? Having that higher power, having that spiritual connection gives you a reason to keep pushing forward. It gives you a reason and a direction so you can continue on the path you're meant to be going on. I'm personally Christian Catholic, but if you're Jewish or Muslim or whatever you are, I promise once you get back to it and really try to understand the wisdom and the enlightenment that comes from it, you give yourself a reason to please a higher power greater than yourself, and you will always be rewarded for it. Number 6, choosing positive environments. The same thing we were talking about with social media and fake friends. Ditch the negative people in your life. Really, just do it. They aren't your real friends anyways, because, hear me out, no real friend would want to beat you down and think negatively of your situation. Be around people that inspire you, make you laugh, put a smile on your face, want the best for you. Life is too short to be wasted on the people that are dragging you down. And as harsh as it sounds, it's a necessary part of growth. And if you're like me, someone who feels bad for doing these things, feel like you're betraying some friends, one thing I do recommend is try to first be the positive light in the room, right? Be the energy that you want to see in others. So if you're in a negative environment, try to be the positive light that emerges from that negative environment. And if the people start to emerge with you and become positive as a result, great, you have a great positive environment now. But the people that don't rise to that, they aren't really your friends. They're more so your haters, right? Because you're trying to better yourself and become a positive light and beacon for yourself and for them. And if they aren't willing to change for that, they're not willing to stay for your growth. Likewise, anything you consume is what you are. This goes for anything positive or negative visually, right? So things like the news, social media, YouTube feed, anything else, they all impact your emotional and mental well-being. Turn off the news, get away from the opinionated politics. I promise you will stay informed. Our phones give us more updates than the amount of times we go to the bathroom in a given day. You will still be well informed. You will not miss out on current topics and debates and events. So in conclusion, watch people and be around people that you want to be like, and soon you'll be like them. But first we must act, then we will be. Number 7, dopamine detox. And this is a semi-controversial, kind of backwards type of advice. It's something that I have used acutely in my life to see if it'll help me in certain times. And I found that it can work in your benefit so long as you don't get addicted to it. Nowadays, we're constantly on our phones scrolling through social media, porn, other highly stimulating content. And we're quite literally frying our brains to a mental death. There's a pretty popular study and analogy in rats that are wired to a button in their cage. And anytime they push the button, they get a little hit of dopamine. And when they find this out, every so often they'll push the button to get their hit of dopamine and feel good. The problem is, the more they push the button, the higher of a tolerance they develop for that button. Meaning, the more they push the button, the more they need that button to feel good, to have as much of an effect. But the more they hit it, the less of an effect that dopamine has. And over the course of time, all the rats do is stand in front of that button and smash it over and over again until they're literally living for that button. Those little hits of dopamine, not even to feel good anymore, just to feel something, just to feel normal. And I think this is what we're turning into. Our phones are our button. We are the rats. Anytime we feel bored or nothing, we just immediately grab our phones and are scrolling through just to get little hits of dopamine, and we're literally frying our brains to a mental death. We crave that dopaminergic response. And the next time you're out in public, really watch people walking by. Everyone looks like a zombie. Everyone's lifeless, scrolling through their phones, numb to what's going on around them. And I don't know about you, but I've never met a happy or fulfilled zombie in my entire life. So if you don't want to be a zombie, start detoxing yourself from this highly stimulating content, and you'll notice your energy becomes so much more focused on the things that really matter, the things that really bring you true fulfillment, things like family, friends, God, your goals, and everything in between. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Even if you take just 1 or 2 of these 7 points, I promise you're on your way to having the best year of your life. And if you do all 7, you will literally be unstoppable. Please leave a comment below. Let me know what you liked or didn't like in the video. If you have any questions or points that I made from the video that you need a more in-depth look at or would just like to learn more about, comment below and I'll make a video on it. Hit the like button if you liked or learned something. Click the bell to be notified when I post. And thanks for watching. Bye.